Um, Welcome again for another episode. This is more about my experience as a technical person in this country, as well as the amount of work I have done. Um, I'm not trying to boast myself what I have done, but the only problem I'm facing or feeling is why is that in many of the companies I've noticed that when you have a good worker, you're not trying to promote that person to the next level. And I see in American companies here, most of the places, some of the companies where you know it's very difficult to climb up the ladder because many of the people are stagnant there. They work there forever till they retire. I understand that, but it's frustrating for somebody who wants to grow in your career. And I've seen this in America but I see my same Indian, not colleagues, these are even my juniors who are in big titles and other things. How they got there, I don't know. I mean, whether they did fraud or whether they you know fabricated their previous positions and they came up and they you know lied, or whether they really got promoted, which I don't know. But I have noticed in my 26 years in America, I've only moved parallel with the same titles and same jobs uh, for the last 26 years and could not climb up. For example, I was in Singapore. I was a systems engineer there. I was promoted as the operations manager within a year of my service with the company. The 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 director of the company saw something in me and the way I was working, and to tell about my some of my experiences. I think there are many guys who are not have even had the experiences what I've had. I see that they are holding on to big titles. Some are CIOs, some are CEOs, and some are, uh, you know, uh, senior managers. One day, I mean, one guy I just saw yesterday. I was interviewed, with one American manager, and this guy, he was. He had a title. He's worked for Cognizant, and in Cognizant, these guys somehow climb up the ladders, or in this TCS or Wipro or all these things. But in America, when you're on a job, it's very difficult to go to the next level or to the manager's level unless and until something. I mean, I've never seen in a place where a manager has left, so somebody promoted me to the next level or something. It's never happened. People are staying there itself forever, or they are there, and I have moved out of that place, so I do not know many companies. I don't know what exactly happens, but many guys, like if they are senior systems administrator, they have been system administrator for the last 20 years, and they retire like that. Of course, we Indians or many people want to grow in their career, and I've tried that in America. It's not that I don't know why I didn't have a proper mentor or something like that I couldn't climb up the ladder, or I was not a kiss up, or I was not somebody who was, you know, faking myself or playing politics to get ahead or what. I don't know any of these things. The only thing I know to do is do my job well. That's all I've done. So, yesterday I was interviewing with one guy, and I saw that this guy suddenly become a senior IT risk manager. See, it's not even from a normal a guy who is monitoring the systems to suddenly uh, becoming a senior IT risk manager from nowhere to nowhere in one company. And I cannot understand how did he get that title suddenly just because you had some certifications or what. I don't know. How did they promote you to that level? Uh, I've slacked my ass for 26 years in this country for many companies. I cannot get ahead. I mean, I've seen other people get ahead in the sense like, for example, um, I was in one hotel industry company, a corporate company, where I saw a guy who was exchange administrator suddenly became a manager. Within 2 years, he became a senior manager, and then a director, and now he's enterprise something vice president kind of thing. And also, I saw another guy in one other company. That guy was a Unix administrator. He was my manager. But then he became a manager. When he was a manager, I was working for him. Suddenly, within 2 years or 1 or 2 years, I worked there for 2.5 years. Within 2 years, he became a senior manager. But he had a backing of some lady behind him. That is, she was a director. And how he got these promotions, every 2 years. Then he became a director. So now he's a senior director. Within, I left that company somewhere around 2017 or 18 to 17. Today he is a senior director in that company in infrastructure. I've been in infrastructure for 26 plus years, and I couldn't even get into a team lead position or a manager's position. I don't know what is stopping them or anybody to see what qualities I have, what technical skills I have that I cannot get ahead in this job. Whether it's you need to kiss up, you need to play politics, or what do you have to do, I don't understand, which frustrates me. I have skills, I have knowledge, my experience is so far, extensive experience I have had, you know, the last 33 years. Uh, Nobody would have done, I was competing with IIT guys when I was working for a company in Hyderabad and they sent me to America in 1995 to do a project. Okay, with IIT guys I was working, not competing. I was working with IIT guys and they chose me. I came and did a development of the computer based trainings in 1995, and then I have done multimedia development with authorware. Then I have done kiosks, and I have done cyber hotel network in the early late 90s in Singapore. We were the first company, or even in America there was nothing. There was no set-top boxes. What you see in the cable nowadays, it's all digital, everything. A small Roku or a Fire Stick, you can have Amazon Fire or whatever it is. You can watch channels. Those days, there was a set-top box from Acer where we programmed that set-top box, and we could watch. We could actually have internet access through television through those set-top boxes, and get information for the Singapore tourism through that. There was no internet that time. That time the internet was just starting in the 90s. Somewhere around the 90s. When Netscape was there. I'm talking during that time. And we had developed, and of course my company had developed, and I had implemented that cyber hotel network in many hotels in Singapore. And we can order menus through that, through the television, through the set-top box. We had a wireless keyboard, everything in 97, I'm talking about. When I started as a senior system admin, I was an operations manager. I came to America. I became a senior systems administrator or a systems administrator. I was working for a manufacturing company. You know, I remember the guy who was an administrator, system admin there, he could not even install backup exec to take a backup of the systems. It was backup exec was new. It was Veritas backup exec. I implemented backup exec, backed up all the systems, built Dell servers, HP servers, IBM servers, Windows servers. Okay, I've done so much. Virtual servers. Those days there used to be a card in the server to build virtual servers. There will be if you need 10 virtual servers, you need to have 10 virtual cards in a system. I mean, I remember those days. Okay, and then one guy who interviewed me, he's a CIO in a company in Denver, and that guy, I told him that I worked in that same company. I don't know, he didn't hire me. He's a CIO now. I'm still a senior systems admin, and you must be wondering what's wrong with you. And I told him I was there in that same company in the same building, and I think that was a mistake that he thought that something might rock his boat, that he didn't want to hire me. I mean, I told him in a gesture because he told me, "Oh, I used to live just 70 miles up north." I asked him where. He said, "This place." I said, "Oh, yeah. I used to work." Where you worked? He said, "That company." I said, "I worked for that company during that." "Oh, I left before that," he said. So, and now he's a CIO in some company in Denver. I don't want to mention the company name. And when I mentioned that, and I said I worked in the same building for another company, I was a citrix shmee. And then later on, I moved to Chicago and I was there. I worked in many companies. I wanted to have a stable place to work, but I wanted to grow also. But I didn't see that growth 1 year or 2 years down the road. I didn't see any growth because people were not moving out of the job. It was still, they were stagnant. I worked for another company where those guys are not going to promote you for anything. I mean, they don't want to because it's just kind of that's the way it is here in America. But I see one company here where I am. How these guys are getting promoted, going ahead, I don't understand. And these are juniors to me who are sitting in the interview panel and interviewing me. The guy is asking about OSI layer. Hey, do you know that I am a Novell network engineer and the OSI layer and networking was the strongest subjects in Novell 30 years back or 33 years back. I certified myself in 1994 in Novell. Okay? And do you know the OSI layers is a strong thing in Novell network? Novell was the company that actually was the topmost company those days. Then came Active Directory and everything. And I've been working in Active Directory for the 20 plus years. And some of the managers who I even work with, those guys, they are not even experienced to what I know, but they are the managers. I'm not saying that if you're technically good, you need to be a manager or anything. Maybe it's not. You need to know to manage people and all those things. But still, I have an MBA also, and I have experience. I have worked with several teams. I've worked across platform, collaborated with people, other countries. Everything is there. My experience is so vast. You freaking guys do not even understand what all I have done in many companies, how much of projects I have worked on. But I cannot find why not one person can see me as a person who can be in the top level. And that's what bothers me in this country. Why is that's happening to me? So I just wanted to show this. And the other thing is 25 years back, even when I was a consultant, I was making $40 an hour. Now they are offering me $32 and $35 an hour. I mean, are you all really shit and nuts, the companies I'm asking? 25 years, there was companies offering $40 an hour for contract jobs. And you're offering me $32 and $26, and they're calling me with my experience. All these guys, Indian recruiters, are calling me for a desktop support engineer job. Do I look like a desktop support engineer to you? Do you know where I should be? Your damn CIOs don't know fucking anything that I know. Or they would have kissed up and done something to come somewhere. But you know how much of hard work and how much of projects I have done and worked on. How many companies I have managed, even being with one of the top outsourcing company, the company that brings in outsourced companies. I've worked like 20, 30 accounts in that companies, and I managed so many companies. Miller Lite, Miller, Coca-Cola, uh, what is it? Amtrak. So many to name so much. I have worked on so many companies, the British Gas, just name anything. So much of exposure I have, but somebody cannot see that through me. Either they feel me as a threat, or they try to see me as I'm old, and or they think that I am overqualified, or it's just I don't get it. So I just wanted to make sure. And the salaries nowadays, what these guys are saying, they're paying 60,000, 70,000 for administrators. Are you bloody crazy guys, the companies? You're paying software developers here, a company here is paying 129,000 to 139,000 plus bonuses. We are infrastructure guys. We should be paid more because we handle the freaking infrastructure. The whole infrastructure is in our hands. We manage the infrastructure. We manage. You guys want us to manage Exchange servers, SharePoint, this one, that one, Windows servers, event logs, this, that, monitoring, all those things. But you all don't want to pay us a decent sum of even 120 to 130,000. Infrastructure engineers or senior systems administrators should be paid that much, whether irrelevant of where you are, whether you're in Midwest or whether you're in East Coast or thing. East Coast, I do not know how much they pay at West Coast, but in Midwest they should. Some companies are, now I see in Chicago, companies asking for 60,000, 70,000. Do you know what's the cost of living in this country is? And what do you think that you're paying $20 an hour or $15? Even you can get in McDonald's for that job, for that. You can go and frickin' work for McDonald's, you'll get $18 an hour. Don't you all have brains, the companies? I don't understand. Paying senior systems administrators or administrators 60,000, 70,000, when you can pay software developers 180,000, 200,000, 250,000. What less are we? What less are we? So I want people who watch this video, I'm not asking for anybody's sympathy or anything like that, but I'm saying if you are a systems administrator, do you think that you would agree with me what I'm saying? That we should be paid more than 140 to 150,000 because we are the backbone of the entire company's infrastructure, and these guys are not willing to pay us any money. And next is, I want to make sure that, if you like this, what I've posted, like my channel, share it with your friends or others, subscribe to it. And, I've got a lot of videos, and I want to just, it's not I'm venting out my frustrations, but I'm saying, why is that some guys cannot even speak English in some a company where I work, where I live. Those guys cannot even speak proper English. They cannot communicate. They only work with Indians. Those guys are all senior managers, directors, enterprise directors, CIOs, and, you know, somebody who can speak well, who can communicate well, who can do technically a good job, cannot even get himself in a or get ahead in his career. And my end of my career has come. Well, what the heck is I'm going to do now? Going and applying for some job. So I don't care a shit anymore. One guy was asking me, why are you applying for support engineers? Not even support engineer, it was support level 2, something like that. I don't know what the heck is this, how much. And they didn't hire me for an infrastructure engineer role, but they want, I mean, any job that comes up in this location, in the infrastructure side, all the recruiters call me because they cannot find locally people here. They might find maybe few, but they'll all call me. And I that's what I get frustrated. So I just wanted to say this. If you like my channel, subscribe to it and comment on it. What I'm saying is wrong. We should be paid, infrastructure guys, senior systems administrators, or anything. Okay, we are not even getting ahead in our career, moving up in our career. At least pay us a proper salary. At least that will be boosting our morale and wanting to do a good job. So like it, comment, and subscribe to my channel and share it if you like it to others. And what I'm saying, I don't want to bring the company's names, everything, but I get frustrated how these guys are all climbing up the ladder. What magic are they doing, or what puja are they doing that to get ahead in life? I don't know. I don't know those strategies. That's what I wanted to say here. So thank you, and I hope you have a nice day.